Hi, everyone. My name is Josh Francia. I am the Chief Growth Officer at Blueshift. And today, for the next 15 minutes, we'll talk about the 3 ingredients to unlocking next level growth with the SmartHub CDP. All right, a little bit about Blueshift to get started. So Blueshift is a leading customer data platform that's trusted by major industries and consumer brands worldwide. We work with brands on media like Discovery and BBC, personal finance brands like LendingTree, e-commerce brands like Slick Deals, retail and brands like Tuft & Needle, and then e-learning brands like Udacity. We've been featured by Gartner and Forrester and G2 Crowd, and recently we're named to the Deloitte Fast 500, which is a group of the fastest 500 growing tech companies in North America. All right, so today we're going to talk about 3 different things: how a SmartHub CDP unlocks potential growth, the 3 ingredients you need to kind of get success out of your CDP, and then how you can get started today. Whether you have a CDP or whether you're just considering using one, this is how you can get started today. All right, so let's just level set real quick before we jump all in. There's a lot of talk about CDPs, and a lot of brands have kind of labeled themselves a CDP recently, whether that's a rebranding or repositioning, or they're new to the market. And and that can introduce a lot of confusion, because marketers will look at some of those brands and say, wait a second, like they don't look anything like another CDP, but they both call themselves CDP. Like, how do I know? How do I know what a real CDP is? And how do I know which CDP is right for me and right for my use cases? And so Gartner last year came out with the CDP market guide. And within it, they looked at all the vendors out there that have kind of, claimed themselves as a CDP in one shape or another. And then they categorized them all into 4 groups, 4 different types. And they indexed those types on 2 different axes. One is who manages it. Is it more IT managed and focused, and engineering kind of managed and focused, or is it marketer managed and focused? And then the second axis was, what is it really focused on? What does it do? Is it more about data management and like kind of passive data where, data plumbing and maybe warehousing and things like that? Or is it really on execution, actually reaching that end user, orchestrating the journeys? And the SmartHub category they came out with is firmly in that upper right quadrant of marketer managed and execution, focus on that orchestration. And here's what they said about it. They said the SmartHub CDP emphasizes marketing orchestration and personalization that leverages that customer data and provides controls for the marketers to create those event triggered and planned user journeys within a single platform. And that's the key right there. Marketers can use that predictive analytics, that smart part, segmentation, easy interfaces to design these customer journeys that are based on first-party data and real-time interactions. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's 3 components, right? It's a SmartHub CDP. Smart is AI. AI that's good for marketers. AI that helps marketers do their job better, not crazy, hard to use AI that only data scientists know how to work. No, it's accessible AI. Second, it's a hub. It helps us orchestrate the entire customer journey, not just 1 or 2 channels, but everything. Our customers don't just interact with us on 1 or 2 channels. And then 3, it's founded in the roots of a CDP. It unifies all your customer data and allows you to run analysis and segmentations across it that actually help the AI learn and help the orchestration become a lot better. Okay, so what are the 3 ingredients for unlocking customer success or with a CDP? So the first ingredient is to leverage that AI, leverage those predictions. It's really, really important to do that because those predictions can help you understand what you can never understand without them. So there's 4 different ones I like to talk about right now. The first one is predictive audiences. This is the who. Who are the right people to target right now? And what product are they kind of interested in? So we take like a travel example. Imagine if, you had, a bunch of different travel products that you could offer your customers, and the predictive audiences, the predictive scores said, hey, this group of customers are really interested in purchasing a hotel in the next 20 days. Would you send them rental car offers or a cruise offer? Probably not. It wouldn't really resonate with them, but you would send them hotel offers. Well, what if you knew that for all your products? which groups were interested in what products right now. So you send them a hotel offer. Okay, this person's interested in hotels. Well, that's only the start, right? There's a lot of hotels out there. So maybe you know where, maybe they're interested in Miami hotels, but what type of hotel? And that gets us to the next bullet here, predictive content. What type of hotel is this person interested in? Are they interested in, 5-star luxury resorts? Are they interested in more budget-friendly hotels, maybe in the city? Do they want to be on the beach? What amenities are so important to them? So figure out what type of hotel and what content to actually give to them will also resonate with them. So now I know you're interested in hotels, but I also know you're interested in 5-star luxury resorts on the beach close to this attraction. Oh my goodness, we're really getting somewhere now. Okay, well now I know the perfect product, the perfect content that's going to resonate with them. Well, when should I talk to them? If I send that out at 6 p.m. at night when they're busy with getting dinner ready for their kids, or getting rushed back to in the office or something like that, are they going to give me any time to actually process it? Sure, they may open the email or the push notification, but will they actually take the time to process it and engage with it and make a decision or an action? Probably not. But what if you knew the time, what hour they would do that? What if you knew that the best time to talk to them is at 9 a.m. in the morning on Wednesday? What if you knew that? And then the last piece is, where should I message them? What if you knew that they're more likely to respond to you if you send them a push notification versus an email? What if you knew that? And if you knew all these things and you could programmatically use those outputs in your journey, you can imagine what that does to your success. And that's exactly what happens. We did a recent survey and we asked marketers that use AI, have they seen success? Have they seen a lift in their marketing, in their campaigns, in their results? And 98% of them said, yes, we've seen results. We've seen results from using AI. And I know for a fact that really is the truth, right? Almost everyone sees great results from using AI. So leverage predictions, that's the very first ingredient. Leverage predictions, these are the 4 that I think are most applicable to marketers, the leverage predictions. Okay, the next one is to personalize everywhere. That's the second ingredient. We need to reduce the friction of every touch point by making every touch point relevant to the customer. And that relevancy is not just content, but it's also time. What point are they in their journey that whatever we talked with them about makes sense, right? So again, if we take that travel example, now they booked the hotel and now they're 5 days from their trip. Are we going to bombard them with like, hey, book more hotels? No, it probably wouldn't make a lot of sense, right? Maybe we should give them things like, hey, here's how you can check into your hotel without talking to anybody with virtual check-in. Or here's restaurants in your area that you should go check out. Or here's the weather that's coming up for your 5 or 6 day stay, right? Relevant content to them. And then they're on their stay, they're in the hotel, they're enjoying life, and something goes wrong, right? Maybe the booking is charged more or whatever, and they're having an issue. Well, they're going to call their travel company they booked it through. So they call the company. And wouldn't it be great if that company, just by the phone number that's calling them, knew that it was Josh Francia at the Fontainebleau in Miami? And it's like, and they would approach me like, hey, Mr. Francia, I know you're at the Fontainebleau in Miami right now. It looks like the weather's really great. What seems to be the problem? Imagine getting that phone call from a customer service rep when they just answer the phone. We don't get that though. Most people say, what's your problem? Give us your information. Give me all the information that I already know in the system about you, but I actually don't know who you are. That's the personalized relevance. Personalized everywhere. Everywhere that customer is interacting with your brand, make sure it's a great and comfortable and seamless experience. Okay, and the third ingredient is, how do we grow our loyal customer base? All right, so we see this like trend, right? This almost ladder of how do we get loyal customers? Well, it all starts out with unknown visitors, right? That's where a lot of our marketing dollars go. A lot of our brand awareness, a lot of our demand gen all goes to kind of unknown visitors. And that we hope to turn into known visitors, right? Now that can either be through a transaction or a customer, or it can be through, registering on our website, or downloading our mobile app, or joining our loyalty program or something like that. And that's great. You want to own the interest, right? You need to be out there. You need to be out there because people don't know maybe who you are, or there's always competition, or they're burned by a competitor of yours. They want to go somewhere else. So you always need to be out there. You need to kind of own the interest in those acquisition campaigns. And then you get them in, you get those visitors in, and you want to convert them to customers. Well, how do you do that? Well, you have to own the transaction, right? You have to convert, you have to optimize that conversion, make sure that make it easy, it's clear, the value props up there. They can make the transaction fairly simple. And once they've transacted, great. Like, you have a customer, that's huge, right? The dollars that you spent return into revenue, that's amazing. Great job. Like ROAS, ROI, we're all super excited as marketers. That's our job. And a lot of us stop there. We say, let's go get the next guy. But that's the mistake. There's always going to be more people out there, but that customer, you want to actually get that customer to become a repeat customer. You don't have to reacquire that customer every time. You want to get them to become a repeat customer. And the repeat customers, you need to make sure the experience is amazing. Again, that travel example, if they had a rough time, or, it didn't work out, that their expectations were violated, then they're not going to purchase with you again. In fact, quite the opposite, right? And so that's marketing's done at that point, right? Well, not really. The customer experience goes everywhere. And then lastly, repeat customers are great, but you want to get them to be loyal customers, meaning that when they think about the next transaction in their mind, the next trip they're going to plan, all they think about is your company. They don't even think about anyone else. They don't even go onto Google or anywhere to search. They just think about your one brand, your one company. And the way you do that, and this is critically important, is you have always on relevant engagement in between the transactions. Transactions are episodic, right? They don't happen all the time, especially in some verticals and brands like travel. Maybe someone travels 2 to 3 times a year. Finance, maybe once, twice every 2 or 5 years, right? It's not very often. So how do you own that mind share in between the transactions? Well, you do it by having relevant engagement throughout those periods, teaching them, educating them, learning what might make sense to them and then when they're ready for the transaction, they think of your brand. And that's the critical thing. Get those loyal customers, those repeat customers and repeat customers and the loyal customers. Then you don't need to reacquire them anymore. And then all that dollars you're spending really goes into new customers. That's what you really want. That's optimizing your spend. The last thing you want to do as a brand is having to reacquire customers constantly. That's not a great use of your spend or your marketing. Okay, so the ingredients: leverage predictions, use AI. It's not scary. It's really easy. Everyone should be using it. Second, personalize everywhere. Everywhere your customer is, figure out and approach it from their perspective, not the marketer's perspective. They will judge the brand on their experience throughout the brand, not just their transaction experience. And then third, grow that loyal customer base. It will allow you to leapfrog your competition, and it can be a huge competitive advantage if you can spend all of your dollars on true net new customers and then continue to cultivate and build a loyal customer base. All right, so how do you get started? We have 4 things that are attached to this session that can help you. The first one is the Smart Guide to Data Activation. This is kind of a primer on how do I use my customer data to make informed decisions. How do I start, right? It's a great guide there. The next one is a Smart Guide to AI Marketing. Again, we talk about AI marketing a lot in predictions. Well, how do you get started? What's the first thing I can do? These are very easy, actionable things you can get started and work on today. The next one is if you have a CDP, great. If you don't have a CDP and you're thinking about getting a CDP, what do you need to know? What kind of questions do you need to ask when you're evaluating CDP? As we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of different CDPs out there. Well, these are 50 essential questions that we've come up with to help you with your RFPs for CDPs. And the last one is someone that's done it. Here's a customer success case study from Tuft & Needle, a great retail mattress brand. And they've been able to do this, activate their customer data, use AI, and the lift they've seen was enormous. So love and invite you guys to read that as well. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you found this valuable. If you do have any questions or you need any help, please reach out at hello@blueshift.com. Thank you so much.